Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've been working on my living room here, and I'm sorry, I do have bronchitis, so my voice is super raspy right now. A lot of you know a couple of weeks back I shared that I got a new couch, and so we're still trying to find like the sweet spot with the sofa. And I've just been like super blown away by how much light and space we've been able to make inside of this living room. It wasn't always the case. I think that we did a really good job with the previous L-shaped sofa that we had, but this room has never been my favorite room because it always felt really dark and cavernous. I never felt like it had a lot of personality, I guess you could say. I wasn't a big fan of the navy blue couch when we had it. The curtains came with the space when we bought it, and they seemed perfect at the time because they matched the walls perfectly. But in hindsight, like that didn't really make anything stand out. Everything just kind of blended together. And the curtains were 100% blackout curtains, which sounds great, except that the other members of my family, especially my 16-year-old, loves to keep the curtains closed. So it was just constantly like a black, dark space in here. The way that we had things set up made it really challenging to bring light into the space and to make the space feel as spacious as it could. And this is not a large living room. We do have a very small living room. I know there are some living rooms that are smaller than this, but it's like probably an apartment size living room. Finding ways to work along with the space that we have available and the needs that we have, like we have a toddler who this is pretty much her number one play space, especially when we're on this level. We have a tri-level. Well, it's been a lot of trial and error, to say the least. And so today I'm going to show you some things that have really worked. Like I said, I'm kind of blown away by the amount of light that I'm seeing in this space now, the amount of spaciousness, like there's just floor space all around me. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are as far as the sofa positioning. We've tried it at a diagonal. Now I'm trying it against the wall. Yeah, I'm just going to take you around and I'm going to show you some things that I know and I can tell have made a huge difference in making our small living room feel more spacious and bringing in a ton more light, which again makes it feel more spacious. The first is the thing that I'm looking at right now, and that is the curtains. Like I said, the original curtains that we had were the same gray color as the wall. They came with the condo when we bought it. They were 100% blackout curtains, and they were like almost cut to the size of the window. I'm sure they weren't specifically made for the window, but they were the exact size of the window. And I remember somebody saying in a comment on like one of my home tour videos that, you know, having curtains that are hung higher and wider than the window itself makes the room feel larger. And I know that, like I've heard that so many different places, but I've never like had any custom made curtains before, and it never seemed like a priority. We had these curtains that came with it, they matched the walls. So the curtains that we have right now are called Liz Linen Drape Pleated curtains, and we got it from a company called 2 Pages. And they're pinch pleated. That's already like a big change from what we had before or what I've ever had. I've never had any pleated curtains, and I've never had linen curtains before either. I'm really loving the change. It's letting in so much light. I was actually able to choose the backing of the curtains to allow however much sun I wanted, from like 0 to 100%. And I chose the one that was around 70% lighting. And I was just like fingers crossed that I chose the right amount of lighting. And it's so cool because it lets in just like this airy glow throughout the room. Like everything looks kind of even toned and glowy. And it's been really, really great. Even when they're fully closed, there's still like this perfect amount of light in the room. Nobody else has complained about there being a lack of blackout. If we really wanted to, we could put like a smaller blackout layer curtain behind it, but we haven't even run into the need for that. So I measured these myself according to the instructions on 2 Pages website. And it's like, I don't know, like a foot higher than the actual windows and about a foot 6 inches maybe wider on each end. And so it's really cool when they're all the way open. It's like it perfectly frames the edges of the window. So I get full 100% use of the window. We're still in the middle of some minor adjustments around here. Like I just filled in the holes with the DAP hole filler and that dried overnight. And so we just need to go back and do a little bit of touch-up painting. And I went ahead and did some touch-ups to the walls. But really, like, the way that it lights up this space, I wish that I had done this a long time ago because it's gone a long way in making this room just feel more spacious and airy. agree. You know, obviously changing out the sofa was another major change that allowed us to bring in so much space. And I showed you that whole process of me moving out the previous sofa and bringing in the new sofa in my video on getting back into minimalism and decluttering stuff. Part of the things that I was decluttering were just things that were around the living room. Oversized furniture was a big transition for us to get back to just minimizing things and creating more space inside of our home. I'm very happy with this leather sofa. So this leather sofa was from Fin and Form. This one is their Maestro cognac colored leather sofa, and they did give me a code of Mia100 for $100 off if you want to go order anything from the Fin and Form website. They're not sponsoring this video, but since I have that code, I thought I'd share it with you. And so that's kind of like what we're trying to find the best positioning, and we're trying it right now with the couch against the wall. I have to say, I am really enjoying all of the just complete bare floor space. I'm able to bring out Chloe's playthings, even her little ball pit that we had down in her play area down in the garage. I was able to bring that up here, and we still have like so much space even with these playthings. Yeah, it's becoming like a little bit of a toddler zone, but in my opinion, it's like in a good way, in a way that doesn't drive me crazy. And like, I don't mind looking at the way that things are, even with her toys and stuff being present. Which leads me to the next thing that's allowed us to create a ton of space, and that is our new toy shelf, toy armoire. I don't know what exactly you would call it. So this is something we got on Amazon. Matt and I put it together ourselves. It's not the most stable piece of furniture. Like, I hate to even mention it too much or like highly recommend that somebody go grab it, because if you see me like shake it, it does move a little bit. It moves a lot less now that we have some toys and stuff in it. We haven't had any issues. Chloe doesn't try climbing on it, but if you do have kids who you're worried would definitely try climbing on it, then this might not be the best piece of furniture for you. But for our needs, it's been great. I was trying to find something that was a low profile, like didn't stick out from the wall too much. This one is just under 16.5 inches deep, and it's 71 inches tall. So the main things that I was looking at, first of all, I was really interested in the concept of getting something that was arch-shaped at the top. So that was definitely probably one of the best selling points for me. But also, I wanted something that was tall enough that we could hide away some of her larger toys that didn't fit in her small toy box upstairs or in the little entertainment center that we have under the TV. What we had was some larger things that she was actually playing with that were just kind of living out on the floor, which I hate, but we just didn't have a better solution for it. So I wanted something that was tall, that could house these things, that maybe she could grab out herself. And one thing that it didn't fulfill, but I was able to fix it to fulfill that, was to have like that section be hidden. So initially, all of the cabinet doors have glass panes in them. And so I went in myself and used some of the box boards that came as packaging for the piece of furniture, and I measured it and kind of sawed it up myself and attached it to the doors. I like the way it looks. I'm personally happy with it. I was considering doing something like a frosted glass pane, but I just got impatient, and that was the equipment that I had available to me. And so I was able to make it to where the bottom sections of the doors are hidden, which makes it even more perfect. Mwah. I love how it turned out, because I can take even something like her little sit and spin things. It's like a really awkward round shape, but I'm even able just to pick that up off the floor and stick it sideways in this cabinet, close the doors, and voila, we're all good to go. So it's been really great for having a toddler and having certain things that I want her to be able to keep, but not having them on display all the time. Another thing that we've done inside of our living room that's really helped with space management is opting for mobile pieces. So even our living room chair, which you'll see in many of my video clips, is a swing. It hangs from the ceiling, but we can take that down at any point. So if we need to expand the space in here, or if we need to reposition the sofa to face the TV for a big family TV night or something, we have the ability to take down that swing and just not even have it in the space if we don't want to. We've also really enjoyed having the swing. It's been kind of a cool addition that I've always secretly wanted to have in my space. I've always been drawn to like the Instagram and Pinterest accounts where somebody has an egg chair hanging in the corner or some kind of a swing incorporated in a fun way inside of their room. And so this was kind of like a little bit of my inner child having having fun. It was totally my idea to have this swing in here, but Chloe has gotten a ton of fun out of it also. But then we also have the little portable coffee table instead of having a giant bulky wooden piece of furniture right in the middle of the room. And this really opens up the floor space. Again, we have Charlie, our pup, who loves to just sprawl out and run around with her toys playing. Obviously, we have Chloe, our 2.5-year-old, who likes to use all of this space for using her building blocks and whatever, just on the free space. And I love doing my yoga in here. And sometimes I'll do my meditation with my incense and everything. And just having that space on the floor has been really important to me. Even before I had Chloe, and even before I had Charlie, really, having that space available to me on the floor has always been something that's really important to me, because that's a big part of my pastime and my personal care regimen, is being able to lay a mat down and do some yoga or whatnot. I can literally pick the whole thing up and it's like right here. So we can just we can shove it back and forth. If we want to have it in the middle of the sofa, we want to have a table in between us on each side of the couch, we can sit it in the middle and we can put our drinks and books and whatever we're doing on it. Or if we want to move it out of the way because somebody is swinging and that kind of comes toward the middle of the couch, then we can pick it up and we can move it off to one of the other ends. And so it's just been kind of a fun piece, and it adds a little bit of visual interest, in my opinion, to the room, because it's round in shape and it's a little wiry looking. I want to say it was like $90, somewhere in that range at Target, but we've had it for years now. One of the concerns when we got this sofa was, well, what if more than one person wants to kind of lean back on the couch? We're used to the L-shaped couch, right? To where one person can lay this way, the other person can lay the other way, like an L-shaped. So we got this little lightweight ottoman. Again, it's mobile. It's not a big piece of heavy wooden furniture that kind of lives in that one spot. It's fun. Chloe jumps on it. Sometimes I'll set it underneath the swing to kind of keep her in place if she's wanting to watch one of her shows. And this keeps it from spinning around to where she's facing the back window instead. And so that's been another fun piece. That one also came from Target. Another thing that's really helped us to maximize the space in here is using vertical storage in the office nook. We have a 3-piece leaning shelf type of office desk that we got from Crate & Barrel when we first moved in. The reason that we ended up with this was actually because the people who owned this place before us had the exact same thing, and it fits so perfectly into that nook that we asked them, where did you get this? Because we either need yours or we need to find a replacement. And so we did. We went and bought the exact same thing. It just fits perfectly into our space. But it's also vertical storage. We've had bins of our cords. Right now we have some of our board games because we're big board game players and card game players. In fact, without that one piece, I think that our living room would look pretty bland. I like that we have something that is vertically visually appealing inside of the space, instead of everything just being at eye level or below. It's nice to be able to put display items up there, and it kind of helps to draw the eye. Plus the ones that we have are black or a really dark brown, so it adds a little bit of color variation to the room. Since the walls are this light gray color, it adds that pop of black. Along those same lines, using water hyacinth baskets has been just amazing, in my opinion. I've tried all different kinds of baskets in here on the shelves that we have, the vertical storage that we have, and by far these water hyacinth baskets, the ones with the handles, are my favorite. We do have some other ones in here that are a little bit thicker and coarser hyacinth, but I don't like those as well because I feel like I'm possibly scraping up the surface of the cabinetry or the shelves whenever I slide them. But these really soft ones, again, got these from Target, have been really great. And I love that they're so deep that I can effectively hide things like games or, whatever we're wanting to store. It's not like peeking over the top. But in general, the style of the water hyacinth basket, it goes really well with the room, the kind of boho, orangey, wooden type of decor that I have going on in here. And so that's great. But having simple solutions to put things that either come with multiple pieces or are brightly colored and don't really go with the aesthetic of the room, just a simple solution to be able to slide things without it being cluttered, is just game changing. It helps with organizing. It helps to simplify the entire space. It helps with the visual flow of the room, and it keeps down the visual clutter and the heaviness. The last thing that I've done over the years since we've lived here is a rug. And we've tried some different rugs in this space. We tried some smaller rugs that fit within the confines of the living room entertainment area. In between, when we had the L-shaped sofa, we had a little rug that fit in between the sofa and the entertainment center. And I always felt like it just felt too small. It looked too mini, in my opinion, for that space. And so the rug that we have now is a much larger rug. It expands beneath the sofa itself, not quite all the way to the entertainment center, but within I would say maybe 1.5 feet, and then 1.5 feet on the other side of the wall. And what's great about rugs, I mean, aside from the fact that they help with noise canceling and they help to protect your carpets or floors and all those other things, is that it's another opportunity to bring in whatever style or theme you're going for in your space. In this case, the rug that we have also has the kind of boho vibes that I'm really into and that I was trying to bring more into the space. But also it helps to subdivide a space, which is great for trying to make a small space feel larger, or trying to make a large space feel orderly and feel compartmentalized. Like you have a zone for doing office work, you have a zone for hanging out and playing board games, or a zone for entertainment center. In our room, we have a rug that's just underneath the office area so that we're protecting the floors from any roll-out chairs, because Matt loves having a roll-out chair. And we're also separating that space of the room from the bed and sleeping side of the room. And so rugs can be just a great, easy way of bringing in that and taking care of two in one. I would love to maybe eventually get a higher quality rug. This rug was fine. It's something that we found on Amazon. I think it was New Loom. It's pretty popular on Home Depot or any of the main areas, but it does kind of get the wrinkly crinks in it. And right now I'm actually in the process of taping it to the carpet, which really is very helpful. So at this point, I've taped down half of the rug, and I have another roll of tape on the way because I've run out, and then we'll finish that project up. And I think it's gonna be pretty good after that point. The last piece of advice that I can give you for making a small space feel more spacious is something that I considered doing, but opted not to. And really, a lot of the people in my family who also share this space weren't crazy about the idea, and that is changing the colors of the walls. I love the gray color of the wall. I said before that part of the selling feature of this condo was probably the fact that they had this really soothing gray tone going throughout the entire space. But in making a space that has been historically very dark and cavernous for me, I was really leaning toward just painting these walls a big, bright, modern white color. I thought that would really go nice with the cognac color of the new sofa. And then I was also considering where we have the black leaning shelves office desk to just paint that whole wall behind it black to add a little more depth in that direction. I'm really a big fan of the black wall, like a black accent wall that I've seen on different Instagram accounts and Pinterest accounts that just really just adds a pop of boldness. But the people in my family, my husband in this case, had a really good point that adding that black wall behind this particular piece of furniture is going to kind of take away from the interest of the furniture itself, because then it's just going to kind of blend into that wall. So I agreed with that. And, so we're getting some of the blackness from the furniture itself, but if the curtains hadn't worked to brighten things up so incredibly, then that's probably something that I would have considered doing, at least with the white part of the paint, to just help lift things up. As it turns out, I didn't need to do that. The curtains ended up working out way better than I imagined. But if you're looking to make a space look bigger, definitely bringing out the cans of paint can be an easy way. And I say easy, obviously painting isn't always the easiest task, but it can be a lot more affordable and less strenuous sometimes than bringing in and moving out a bunch of furniture. Hopefully this gave you some real life implemented ideas of how to make your space feel a little bit bigger. I know a lot of these are things that we've all heard before, but sometimes it can be nice just to see different people putting those concepts and those ideas into place in their own space, those little visuals and before and afters. So hopefully you got a little bit of that out of this. Now, if you're looking to get a little more help with the clutter side of things, I do have a whole free resource library on getting the clutter out of your space. You can find that at miadanielle.com/freebies, and I'll chat with you next week.